TransByDef. This is Christine, and today's topic is our heroes and our role models. I made a list. It's an incomplete list. It's not even close. But it'll take me almost 15 minutes probably to go through this. So let's get started. Miranda is a friend of mine from Brisbane, Australia. She is an online friend. In fact, most of these people are online friends that I've never actually met in person. Miranda was there for me when I was trying to come to terms with who I am. Miranda has been a friend of mine now for probably close to 3 years. And there are times where she was the one who was keeping me alive when I was out of strength. So I owe Miranda a great debt of gratitude, and she is a hero of mine. She's also an inspiring author. She's working on a number of serials that she puts out on the web. One of them is called Shimmerverse. By all means, check them out, and hopefully you'll enjoy it. It's about a superhero who lives as a boy until she transforms into a superhero. Tylana and Lisa. These are both local trans women who are personal friends of mine. The only real people that I have had face-to-face contact with on this list. Tylana has a number of health issues, but yet, despite her health issues, she's been a advocate, both here and in Texas, for trans people. Despite her health issues, she earned a master's degree and works as a college professor now. Lisa also struggles with health issues, specifically anxiety. But despite her anxiety, she's out in front of probably 50 people last week doing our Transgender Day of Remembrance at my employer at the university for a student-run organization called Unity. And she's up there chairing it, having organized it and covering it for actually 3 years now. That's inspiring that somebody who struggles so much with anxiety was willing to put herself out there. And it's not the first time that she put herself out there. I met her back in April, and we quickly became very good friends. And she helped me a lot this summer as I faced the possibility of losing my kids and other challenges. So Tylana and Lisa are definitely heroes and role models. Mia Macy and Vandy Beth Glenn. Both of them are the plaintiffs in lawsuits that have established our right to work and our protection under the law as sex discrimination. This means your employer can't fire you just because you're trans. They can still come up with other reasons, but they can't fire you because you're trans. Which is awesome, because before, they could fire you for any reason they felt like. And they did. Oftentimes, just because we're trans. They'd even tell us. Now it's a little harder. Beyond their subject as, beyond just being the plaintiffs in the lawsuit, I consider both of them friends, especially Mia. Mia has been somebody that I've been able to talk to a lot over the last year. Um, she's she's struggled a lot with the effects of the lawsuit personally, um, and yet she's out there. She's still advocating for us, um, and she's helping actually through that lawsuit the entire LGBT community, because the belief is right now, um, there's a really good chance that that lawsuit could turn into benefits, um, or I should say healthcare protections, uh, by eliminating the ability of our employers to discriminate against us, either because we're trans or, in the case of lesbians and gay people, in same-sex marriages, against their families, their other half. Um, so Mia and Vandy, heroes, without a doubt. Um, Mara Kiesling, she is, the president of the National Center for Transgender Equality. She goes into Washington, D.C., and she deals with all of the senators and congressmen and tries to get the legislation that we need through, um, to protect our rights. That's an uphill battle for her. People may know lesbians or gay men, but most people don't know trans people. Our representation in the population is pretty low, unless we come out to the larger umbrella. But as far as transsexuals, it's maybe 1 in 2,500. So Mara does amazing work, and it's commendable. Janelle Jacques and Rebecca Heineman. Both of them are game designers, and they're also engaged to get married to each other. They're activists. They're just two trans women who are out there with successful careers, transitioned later in life, certainly well into their middle age, and are going to do great things. They're inspirational to watch. They're actually starting up a game company, of their own right now. They're doing freelance work to get through. I look forward to what they do. And if you don't know Janelle, she also has a long history that goes back, like she made the game, or was involved in the project Quake, for multiple versions, I believe. She was involved with Dungeons and Dragons back in TSR days of 1980s, or even before maybe. She authored some books on how to do, the gameplay, how to design, characters and, make it interesting. Impressive career. Definitely somebody I look up to and admire. Lei T. She is a supermodel. What impresses me most about her is that she's willing to get out there and expose herself. And she did it. She has since, I believe, had reassignment surgery. But when she first started, she didn't. And yet she was still out there on the cover of magazines. Impressive. I have some friends who are involved in the church. The church being the Christian church. And one in particular that I've been talking to, over the last 4 or 5 months. We'll say Tammy from Portland. She's stealth right now. So I'm not going to give you her whole name, but Tammy, she's working in the United Methodist Church right now, kind of behind the scenes to try to bring about some changes. She's a valued member of her local church who is aware, or at least whose pastor is aware, that she's trans, but the United Methodist Church actually doesn't support LGBT people at all. And she's trying to change it. I have a friend named Jennifer. She transitioned after running for congressman, and I believe she lost her race. She was running in a very Democrat heavy district as a Republican, and she did well. She's a moderate. Obviously, she has some support for LGBT rights, but she's impressive. And she's going through an incredibly horrible battle for custody of her kids. And she was there for me when I was struggling for custody of my kids, which I may still be doing. My children's lawyer has recently said she doesn't think the agreement that we have is workable. So we run a risk right now of one or the other of us losing the kids between my spouse and I. The last one I'm going to mention, although there's a lot more here, and there's some here that I really would like to say, but I'm running out of time. The last people I'm going to mention are the TransByDef hosts. I watched TransByDef since they started. Every episode, every single host. And a couple of them, Jenny, Emma, and Cadence, you have kids. And you transitioned. And for me, it was nice to see. It was very, very nice to see. And so you are my heroes.